Welcome back to this explainer. Now, if you've been following the year-to-date headlines, you've definitely seen the sheer chaos brewing over borders and trade. Today, we're going to seamlessly connect a massive geopolitical trade war, a highly localized municipal trash crisis, and the cutting-edge AI technology designed to solve the whole shebang. We are diving deep into exactly how macro-level political friction over the border is driving micro-level tech innovation, literally right in the palm of a truck driver's hand. Let's get right into it.
Here's our roadmap for today's deep dive. We'll hit tariffs and the trade war, the Michigan Waste Corridor, and desperation in Bill 5. Then we'll check out building the sentient bridge, AI at the edge, and wrap up with securing the circular bioeconomy.
All right, Section 1, Tariffs and the Trade War, the macro crisis.
Let's set the stage by looking at the sheer scale of the geopolitical friction tearing at North American trade harmony. Looking at recent year-to-date headlines, on July 1, 2026, Washington formally declined to extend the USMCA trilateral agreement during a joint review. And following the complete breakdown of that review, President Donald Trump signed Section 338 proclamations on July 20th. This aggressive move slapped an additional 50% tariff on nearly $20 billion of Canadian goods set for August 19th. I mean, $20 billion. A hit of that magnitude has thrown cross-border trade, and especially the delicate classification of commodities under the SUSMA framework, into absolute chaos.
Which brings us to Section 2, the Michigan Waste Corridor, a tangible problem.
So, while Washington and Ottawa are busy trading tariff blows, this political abstraction becomes a very physical, very messy reality at the Ontario-Michigan border. The sheer volume of transboundary dumping happening right now is frankly staggering. Look at this. 14.35% of all waste disposed of in Michigan landfills comes straight from Ontario, Canada. That means Ontario is heavily, almost completely, dependent on Michigan as a vital destination for its daily waste.
To put a concrete number on that massive percentage, we're talking about 3.46 million tons of municipal solid waste, or MSW, exported across the border into Michigan landfills every single year. Right now, the cost arbitrage makes it economically viable for companies to just load chaotic, unsorted construction waste in the massive transfer trucks and ship it south, rather than dealing with the time and expense of processing it domestically up in Ontario.
But, that economic incentive is currently under severe threat. To curb these massive MSW imports, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer has proposed a drastic tipping fee hike. She's looking to raise disposal fees from just 36 cents to $5 a ton. That is a nearly 14-time increase. This proposal is meant to bring Michigan in line with regional averages, deter out-of-state dumping, and generate around $80 million for local environmental remediation. If this aggressive fee hike passes, or if those federal trade war tariffs strip waste of its exempt commodity status, the entire Ontario-Michigan waste corridor could effectively close overnight.
Which leads directly into Section 3, Desperation, and Bill 5, Local Agitation.
With the terrifying prospect of a closed U.S. border and skyrocketing disposal costs, Ontario has basically been thrown into a state of legislative panic. According to the W2RO State of Waste Report, Ontario only has 9 years of domestic landfill capacity remaining, and the really critical takeaway here is this impending deadline. That timeline could shrink to 2034 if border policies lock down completely and those 3.46 million tons of annual MSW suddenly have nowhere else to go.
In a desperate bid to secure domestic capacity before that 2034 deadline hits, Premier Doug Ford's government enacted Bill 5. It's officially called the Protect Ontario by Unleashing Our Economy Act 2025. Basically, this omnibus legislation allowed the province to bypass comprehensive local environmental assessments to fast-track crucial infrastructure. Schedule 3 of this bill specifically targeted the York 1 Dresden landfill expansion, exempting it from normal reviews. The ministry cited this as an emergency measure against volatile U.S. trade policies, but man, it sparked fierce local protests from citizen groups like Dresden Cared, who even petitioned the federal government to step in. With citizens actively fighting back against new local dumps, something's got to give.
So, we're left with a stark contrast between two very different paths forward. The old way relies on highly chaotic construction waste, which is super vulnerable to border tariffs, completely reliant on cross-border dumping, and ultimately triggers massive local landfill protests when domestic capacity is forced open. The question the source material poses is this: do we continue relying on this vulnerable failing system, or do we engineer a modern high-tech alternative that transforms that exact same waste into a high-purity, border-agnostic resource?
This takes us to Section 4, Building the Sentient Bridge, the Tech Solution.
This brings us to a revolutionary framework deliberately designed to secure regional sovereignty.
It's called the 95 Wood Digital Refinery. This platform acts as a bridge between the chaos of municipal solid waste and the strict, high-purity demands of the biocarbon market. A quote from the developers brilliantly captures the essence of the solution. So the AI's real job isn't sorting wood, it's notarizing it. In a post-tariff world where a single misclassified load can result in crushing border taxes, the 95 Wood platform operates as an immutable digital notary. It proves exactly what the material is so it can safely bypass tariff blockades.
The workflow builds seamlessly across a comprehensive 6-layer architecture. Step 1 is the intake and compliance gate at Layer 1, utilizing Edge AI scanning right at the bin before anything even moves. Step 2 moves to Layers 2 and 3, handling logistics and regulatory mapping. Here, the meticulously clean load rides a 144-yard walking floor mothership hauling 19.15 tons, while the engine maps all data to Ontario Regulation 347 and CUSMA Rules of Origin. Finally, Step 3 covers Layers 4 through 6. This is where the application's UI/UX generates a seamless request for quote, or RFQ, and culminates in highly validated Certificate of Origin PDF documentation. This immutable output proves unequivocally that the feedstock has undergone perfect verification and regulatory compliance.
Now let's look under the hood in Section 5, AI at the Edge, the engine.
The true magic of this entire platform happens entirely at Layer 1, utilizing incredibly advanced hardware right in the palm of a truck driver's hand. The 905 Wood Edge stack runs on a Google Pixel 10 Pro powered by Android 16. It leverages a LightArt AI stack perfectly quantized to fit the Tensor G5 on-device neural processing unit, running a highly powerful Gemma-class vision model. What makes this so mind-blowing is that the intelligence isn't sitting in a massive remote cloud data center somewhere. It's physically rendering right on the chip, inside the truck cab.
This specific hardware and software setup allows the system to classify clean versus treated wood in under 500 milliseconds, less than half a second. What's absolutely vital here is that this happens completely offline. There's literally no cell signal required at the remote dump site. The Edge AI functions totally independently, meaning before the truck even shifts into drive, the load is fully verified.
And to ensure perfect purity for that demanding biocarbon market, the system employs what they call a visual fallacy guard. This is an advanced system failsafe set to a strict 85% confidence threshold. It's specifically designed to instantly halt the process and escalate if the AI suspects that ambiguous weathered gray pine is actually hiding toxic CCA pressure treatments. The stakes here are incredibly high. I mean, if toxic CCA-treated wood sneaks through, the entire biocarbon shipment is ruined. This guard protects the integrity of the whole supply chain.
Finally, we arrive at Section 6, securing the circular bioeconomy, the macro resolution. By zooming back out to the macro level, we can see exactly why this micro-level technology is so critical right now. By operationalizing this specific Google Pixel 10 Pro and LightArt stack, 905 Wood effectively bypasses those Section 338 trade war tariffs and the Michigan landfill crisis. They're acting as the sentient bridge, transforming chaotic, tariff-vulnerable municipal solid waste into a high-purity, USMA-compliant resource. This allows the region to stop fighting over landfill space in places like Dresden and instead secures Ontario's industrial leadership in the global circular bioeconomy.
Which leaves us with this final provocative thought to take away from today's explainer. In a future defined by unpredictable tariffs, border closures, and legislative panic over where to put our trash, is the smartest defense mechanism for our environmental and economic sovereignty actually sitting right in your pocket? Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. Keep exploring those incredible connections between global policies and edge technologies, and I'll catch you next time.